Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Learning Unit 1.2, Applying the SDGs Framework in a Corporate Strategy. My name is Gaelle Ridolfi, and I am the Share Value and Sustainability Manager of Hera Group. Today, we will try to understand what is the role of the business in fostering a more sustainable and inclusive economy. We will learn more about the UN 2030 Agenda and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and why it is relevant for business. In fact, global challenges from climate, water and food crisis to poverty, conflict and inequality are in need of solutions that the private sector can deliver, representing a large and growing market for business innovation. In the third part of the lecture, finally, we will see how to apply the framework in a corporate strategy and how Hera Group has done it. Let's start with the UN 2030 Agenda. The Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The 2030 Agenda was adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015. The current development model has been declared unsustainable, not only on an environmental level, but also on an economic and social level. This is why an integrated vision of the different dimensions of development is needed. The approach to be adopted is that leaving no one behind, seeking to have a global impact on all. The global goals are an urgent call for action for all countries, developed and developing, in a global partnership. All components of society, from business to the public sector, from civil society to philanthropic institutions, and all of us as individuals are concerned. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals with 169 associated targets, which are integrated and indivisible. Never before have world leaders pledged common action and endeavor across such a broad and universal policy agenda. The SDGs are integrated because they recognize that action in one area will affect outcome in others, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Ending poverty and other deprivation must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. The global community is at a critical moment on its pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goals. After 2 years into the global pandemic, millions of lives have been lost. The human and economic toll has been unprecedented. The current crisis is threatening decades of development gains, further delaying the urgent transition to greener, more inclusive economies, and throwing progress on the SDGs even farther off track. Unfortunately, the SDGs were already off track even before COVID-19 emerged. Progress had been made in poverty reduction, material and child health, access to electricity and gender equality, but not enough to achieve the goals by 2030. In other vital areas, including reducing inequality, lowering carbon emissions, and tackling hunger, progress had either stalled or reversed. The UN Sustainable Development Goals Report 2021 outlines some significant impacts in many areas that are already apparent. The global extreme poverty rate rose for the first time in over 20 years, and there is a risk of generational catastrophe regarding schooling. Despite the global economic slowdown, concentration of major greenhouse gases continue to increase. The pandemic has also brought immense financial challenges, especially for developing countries, with a significant rise in debt distress and dramatic decrease in foreign direct investment and trade. The challenges are immense, but there are also reasons for hope. The COVID-19 crisis had inspired community resilience, highlighted the huge work by essential workers in myriad fields, and facilitated the rapid expansion of social protection, the acceleration of digital transformation, and unprecedented worldwide collaboration on the development of vaccines. So does it matter for business? Although implementation of the UN agenda is in the hands of governments around the world, business support for achieving the SDGs is critical. No matter how large or small, and regardless of their industry, all companies can contribute to the SDGs. While the scale and scope of the global goals is unprecedented, the fundamental way that business can contribute remain unchanged. Companies are asked to first do business responsibly and then pursue opportunities to solve societal challenges through business innovation and collaboration. Companies can contribute to the global goals with new business models in line with the SDGs, innovation, technological development, investments, and multi-stakeholder collaboration. Companies can and should seek a marriage between innovation and sustainability in order to develop, through innovative technologies and transformative mindsets, new solutions that are sustainable and in line with SDGs. In this article from Harvard Business Review, the authors tried to answer the question, are companies advancing serious solutions for the SDGs? They investigated 100 of the largest global companies, and their finding was that commitment of almost every company they studied appears to be merely cosmetic. Existing corporate social responsibility initiatives were simply relabeled with the relevant goals. They found very few companies doing anything new or different to advance these goals. Here are their suggestions for companies that are serious about addressing the SDGs. First, choose fewer and more specific goals. Limit the choice between 1 and 3 SDGs that are most central to companies' business. If companies are to tie the SDGs to genuine business opportunities, they will need to be far more selective and precise. Second, focus on the most promising business opportunities. Companies should do this when selecting which goals to pursue. The larger and more profitable the opportunity, the faster new products and services can scale up to advance the goals. This means that the SDGs must move out of the CSR departments and into corporate strategy and operations. The CEO must set the agenda and task the relevant business units with implementation. Third, adopt meaningful near-term targets. Companies must commit to specific and measurable targets that include both the societal progress they intend to achieve and the value that such impact can bring to their shareholders. Companies must translate the relevant SDGs into 3 to 5 year targets and report publicly on their annual progress toward achieving the targets. Fourth, reallocate resources. No significant innovation will happen without dedicated resources, and the resources cannot be limited to corporate philanthropy. Companies must make substantial investments to expand the effectiveness and reach of products or services that can advance the chosen goals. Fifth, be honest about and address inconsistencies. Most companies will have product lines or activities in their value and supply chain that work against the SDGs. Companies must acknowledge this conflict and offer a plan and a timeline for mitigating their negative impact. For a company who wants to engage in the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Global Compact provides many opportunities to learn, act, and report. The Global Compact Network offers an extensive toolbox ranging from leadership engagement platforms to best practice and resources that will help businesses embed the 10 principles into their operation, identify new opportunities to advance the SDGs, and partner with the United Nations. We will see now how to apply the framework in a corporate strategy and Hera Group's case study. In the famous article, Creating Share Value, published in 2011 on the Harvard Business Review, Michael Porter and Mark Kramer argued that companies can move beyond corporate social responsibility and gain competitive advantage by including social and environmental consideration in their strategies. They suggested that treating societal challenges as business opportunities is the most important new dimension of corporate strategy and the most powerful path to social progress. Share value results from policies and practices that contribute to competitive advantage while strengthening the communities in which a company operates. Company can create share value in three ways. 1. By reconceiving products and markets. 2. Redefining productivity in the value chain. And 3. Strengthening local clusters. All three require a sufficiently robust market ecosystem. Creating share value is the new perspective that integrates Hera Group's strategic approach to corporate social responsibility and sustainability. It stems from a path started in 2016 and is our way of generating economic value for the company and, at the same time, producing a positive impact on society and the environment, taking into account global priorities. For Hera, the creation of share value is the result of all those business activities and projects that generate operating margins and meet the global agenda drivers, those call to action for change in the direction of sustainability for our areas of competence, specified by European, national and local policies and by the megatrends. Since 2016, we considered more than 100 international, European and national agreements and policy documents to shape our priorities and the goals to achieve. Our strategic approach identifies 3 drivers of change and 9 impact areas, each with concrete commitments and targets. They are linked to 11 of the 17 SDGs, given to the breadth of topics mainly related to our multi-utility nature. Every 3 years, the share value framework undergoes a review and update process for it to be able to reflect changes in the external sustainability scenario. 4 years ago, we carried out an in-depth analysis of the 169 targets associated to the 17 SDGs, identifying the activities, projects, or policies of the group that contribute to their achievement. Contribution was classified as high, medium, or low for each target. Goals were considered to be relevant if at least one of the targets had a medium or high level of contribution. 7 out of these 11 goals were identified as key for Hera. They correspond to the areas where we can have a greater impact and reflect our business structure as a multi-utility. Goals 6, 7 and 12 for water, energy and waste. Goal 13 because climate change is one of the main challenges we face at a global level. Goal 11 as our activities are strictly linked to life in cities. Goal 9 and 17 to leverage the change through innovation and technological progress and partnership. Our approach to creating share value also includes a practical measurement system. The measurement of the share value EBITDA generated during the year of the group's activities in response to the global agenda priorities. Starting from 2019, the measurement of the share value EBITDA is also verified by independent auditors that verify the sustainability report. The calculation methodology includes specific criteria that analyze the business we operate consistently with the drivers we have identified and their impact areas to create share value. The share value EBITDA for 2020 has been 420 million, that correspond to 37% of the group total EBITDA. The 2025 business plan shows a significant amount of investment going to our share value initiative. A 2030 target has also been included for share value EBITDA, set out at 70% of the overall EBITDA, consistent with the growth recorded over the years. The 2025 target is 55% of the total. Here an example of a project among those evaluated in the analysis of the SDGs at the target level. This is the biomethane plant of Sant'Agata Bolognese. It uses the organic part of differentiated waste in a raw material to obtain two different products: biomethane gas, which is fed into the network and conveyed to roadside distributor for use as fuel in vehicles and also used to serve local public transport, and quality compost. In this way, a perfect circular economy is achieved whereby methane gas and compost are obtained from food waste. The project contributes to 4 SDGs. The SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, and in particular the target 7.2. By 2030, increase substantially the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. In 2020, with just under 100,000 tons of organic waste treated during the year, 7.8 million cubic meters of biomethane were produced and fed into the network, exceeding production forecast by more than 5%. The SDGs 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, the target 8.2, achieve a higher level of economic productivity through diversification, technological upgrading and innovation, including through a focus on high value-added and labor-intensive sectors. Hera Group was the first multi-utility in Italy to build a biomethane production plant on an industrial scale. SDGs 11, Sustainable City and Communities, the target 11.6. By 2030, reduce the adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, including by paying special attention to air quality and municipal and other waste management. The biomethane replacing fossil fuel contributes to a better air quality of the cities. Furthermore, the production of biomethane and compost from organic waste is best practice of waste treatment. SDGs 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, for the target 12.2, 12.4, and 12.5. In conclusion, we can say that the global goals are in business. In the face of multiple systemic interconnected crises, the solution requires all of us to play our part. The global goals simply cannot be achieved without business. Through their cooperation, financial commitments, employee networks, consumer-facing platform, and high-level influence, companies have a crucial role to play in accelerating progress toward the goals. Every business and every employee can make a vital contribution to create a more peaceful, equitable, and prosperous future. Thank you for your attention.